John Schneider and Emma.
Okay, so this video is long overdue. I mean, Dancing with the Stars season 27 ended about, what, 3 weeks ago, if I'm not mistaken, by the time of this recording. But you know what? Hey, life happens. And speaking of life, I'm going to, just talk about a little bit of stuff towards the end of the video. But really, this video isn't about an overall Dancing with the Stars summary. I think I've done maybe 2 or 3 videos of season 27 about John Schneider's performance that particular week. Obviously, John Schneider was the reason I actually watched this season. I think I mentioned in one of my videos that season 27 was the first time I've tuned in live and voted each week. This was the first season I've ever participating in voting, because I remember back in the day when I used to watch this show regularly with my mom. I think at that time voting could only be done via texting, and then there were charges and crap like that. And I grew up with dial-up, so we never had the opportunity to go online to do it. But luckily, 2018, things are different. But yeah, a lot of stuff was leading up to John Schneider being on Dancing with the Stars in regards to his personal life, and I'll get to that later in the video. But in this video, I'm not going to talk about every single dance and what the scores were. I'm really just going to talk about my favorite dance, his lowest score, his highest score. So really, I'm only going to be talking about maybe 3 or 4 dances at maximum. But just to break down the stats, John Schneider was the oldest contestant on this season of Dancing with the Stars. I believe the cast was 11 teams, so basically 11 stars, 11 dancers. And he was the 6th one eliminated. And on that night, I believe it was a double elimination with DeMarcus, the NFL player. So, pretty much he technically was, it was a double elimination that night. So if memory serves in regards to the number, I think that means John made it to the quarterfinals. Yeah, because I think after that it was the semifinals and then the final night. So yeah, so he made it really far, and what really inspired me about John's journey was because of the fact that, again, follow him on social media. Links will be in the description below in the comment section. But he was traveling so much during the season. If I'm not mistaken, they were filming season 7 of the Haves and the Have-Nots in Atlanta. And a lot of people were asking, hey, Jeremy, you've done videos going over the different pictures and whatnot behind the scenes of the cast members filming and stuff. How come John isn't there? He was only in one video I saw that Angela Robinson posted on her Instagram. It was like a big dinner with a bunch of the cast members, and John was there. So pretty much confirming Jim Cryer is in season 7, but his scenes are probably going to be limited due to the fact that he was filming and practicing for Dancing with the Stars. But also, he was making appearances, I believe, at a different Comic-Con-esque events around the country, because remember, John Schneider was on Smallville as Jonathan Kent, aka Clark Kent, or Superman's adoptive father here on Earth. And I believe he was also doing other appearances for his music as well. I believe the Odyssey is his latest album that's coming out or has already come out. And keep in mind, while he was on the road traveling, he was still practicing his dance moves. He and Emma, I believe Emma was his partner. It was like the opening number, their dance they had to do for a particular week. Sometimes it was 2 dances, the team dance. It was just amazing how far he made it, because when you look at it, the odds were kind of stacked against him. The oldest competitor, always traveling, and not to mention the funk he was going in regards to his personal life. Like right before the season started, a few weeks or a couple months before that, the whole thing about John Schneider going to jail due to lack of payment, or what is it, alimony to his ex-wife, I believe. And I remember doing a video going over the stats. It's like, dang, going over the numbers, if a person wins Dancing with the Stars, and I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I think overall they make maybe around almost a little less than 500,000, somewhere in the $375,000 to $450,000 range, because you get paid for each week you're on the show, and if you make it to the finals, you make the big bank. But that would be enough, or around enough money to pay off his Outback alimony. But then around week 2 or week 3 of the season, it was reported in the news that his ex-wife also wants him to pay her legal fees, which would be crazy because even if John made it to the finals, there was no way that would have been enough to pay for everything. So I remember talking about the fact that, John Schneider doing Dancing with the Stars, most people are talking about how it was about the money issues and whatnot. But also, it was a good way to advertise, the fact to get him out there to the public. And I don't feel like John Schneider was ever washed up, in my opinion. I feel like he's always best known for the Dukes of Hazzards in Smallville. But in the day and age we live in terms of social media and things like that in YouTube, being on Dancing with the Stars is definitely a great thing because, number one, you are plastered on TV like each week you're on there, social media and things like that. And that's one thing. Another thing I give John Schneider credit for, he made the most of the opportunity, not just to make great connections and relationships with his partner Emma, but also the other stars in the season. I just felt like a great sense of camaraderie amongst the cast. It really felt like I was watching John Schneider interacting with the cast of the Haves and the Have-Nots, because it's a group of people that we see together for several weeks. And in Dancing with the Stars, I can only imagine you see people at their highs and their lows. What if they didn't get a good score, or if they're exhausted from rehearsals, or if they get injured, and you just feel like a great sense of camaraderie. Not to mention the fact that they showed up a lot on like Good Morning America and other platforms for interviews. And that was another thing. I kept up with John Schneider on several of his interviews during the season, and once again it was great because not only was he being known for participating in season 27, but, he would talk about, hey, the haves and the have-nots. And, most people know me for Dukes of Hazzard. And I think in some interviews, he even had his guitar and would sing a tune or two. So once again, it was really about making the most about the opportunity he was given to, kind of advertise not just his dancing on this season, but also his other projects in terms of, hey, it's Dancing with the Stars now. Let me show you why I'm a star, so to speak. And I think that was a good thing. So hopefully this definitely helps with the financial burdens he was going through. And I don't remember the exact dance, but it was the emotional one where, we talked about how the flooding knocked out most of his studio. The fact he was going through family issues, especially with his kids not really wanting to interact with him, if I'm not mistaken. But that was one of his most emotional dances. But let me just get to this. His best dance was the jazz. I believe he got a 25. Lowest dance was Foxtrot, which I believe was the Halloween theme one. But my favorite dance of all was the Charleston. That I think he got 23. That was during week 2. That was forever. That will be forever my favorite John Schneider dance because it truly felt like a Broadway musical or something like that. It was like he was dressed as conductor. I know he had a lot of fun doing the Elvis dance as well. I forgot the dance he was doing, but he was dressed like Elvis. But the Charleston is my favorite John Schneider, Emma dance on Dancing with the Stars. That was my favorite. The team dance with Joey Fatone, that was a great one too. But the Charleston is my favorite. That was my favorite. But another thing to talk about is the fact that in the audience during various weeks, the haves and the have-not cast would show up. If I'm not mistaken, it was Catherine, Celine, Maggie Day, Amanda, Wyatt, and David at different points in time. I know that some of them came in groups. Like I believe Celine, Amanda, and Maggie came together. Wyatt was there like during the first week. Then another week it was Catherine and David. So it was great to see past and current cast members going out to support John. So that was definitely a great thing to see on social media. And I believe it was stated that John Schneider was supposed to be going on the Dancing with the Stars tour, but he actually had to drop out due to the fact that the tour dates conflicted with his own schedule outside of dancing. And once again, I'm actually happy to hear that. Don't get me wrong. I wanted to see him on the tour because, honestly, I don't know how the tour works. I'm assuming that the people who go on the Dancing with the Star tour do get paid as a result of that. So any money is good money to be brought in. But I'm guessing that the fact he dropped out of the tour, as he stated on social media, is because of the conflicting dates of when the tour was taking place versus all his other engagements for his own projects, such as music and possibly other movies and whatnot. So at the end of the day, I think it was great that he was on Dancing with the Stars, because the fact that his schedule was so full that he couldn't go dancing means that, okay, this means that he probably has a lot more musical concerts to do and other acting, shows and movies to do, meaning more money comes in. So I really do hope that he's able to get out of the financial binds he was in or still is in. But in any case, I enjoyed seeing him on the show. And in one interview, I forgot which one it was, he was talking about how the thing about Dancing with the Stars he loves the most is the fact that people get to see the real John Schneider smiling and having a good time, as opposed to the cold and, evil, vindictive character of Jim Crow and the haves and the have-nots. Like, I grew up watching Dukes of Hazzard. I never watched Smallville, but it really is refreshing, because in this day and age, I know John Schneider most for being Jim Cryer. So to actually see him a happy, energetic guy like this is really cool. So I imagine meeting John Schneider would just be like a good time. I feel like he would be a cool guy to have a conversation with. But yeah, overall, I thoroughly enjoyed him on the show. And if I'm not mistaken, in the final episode, he actually performed one of his new songs live. So that was, he looked like he was having a blast. And yeah, that's really all I had to say about it. So John Schneider, it was great seeing you on Dancing with the Stars. Not only that, it felt great to tune in on a weekly basis. The last time I remember doing that was when Carlton or Alfonso Roberto was on the show. And honestly, I didn't tune in each week. I only watched the dancing on YouTube, and he won. But yeah, this was the first season in a while I've been energetic about. And I was going to do a separate video on this, but honestly, I didn't feel like doing it because the internet, was being the internet, just going off about it. And I didn't want to seem like I was, throwing my hat in the ring based off ill will. But before getting into that, let me just do a self plug here. John Schneider, Dancing with the Stars, hopefully it upped his audience on social media. More people are in tune with what he's doing right now, so they'll buy his music, go out to the concerts and appearances. So that helps, bring in more money for John Schneider Studios. And speaking of bringing in the money, I actually listed a lot of things on my personal eBay store, and there's a link in the description below. Video games, action figures, Pokemon cards, just trying to get rid of a lot of stuff I've had. Free shipping on everything, and with the holiday season coming up, just trying to bring in more money. So that was my shameless plug. Now, speaking about Dancing with the Stars, I believe Bobby was the winner, and Bobby is like a radio personality. I remember people in an uproar about him winning. Now, don't get me wrong. I thought Milo was going to win. I mean, based off the dances and everything, I thought Milo was the one that would make it at least to the finals, no doubt, because typically the Disney stars, especially the younger ones who are newer to Disney, they're the ones who make it the furthest, at least to the finals. Like, I know Kyle Massey. I think Kyle from That's So Raven and Corey in the House, I don't know if he won, but I know he made it to the finals. I can't remember if he won, but I know he made it to the finals. And Zendaya I think she should have won that season. She was the runner-up. But yeah, Rashawn Fagan, he was in there too. He's on Greenleaf. He made it pretty far. I don't think he made it to the finals though, because he really didn't stick to the routines of the dances. He was more of a Michael Jackson-esque kind of dancer, which is good, but I think that was the reason he got kicked off. And Sabrina Bryan, the girl from the Cheetah Girls, she made it far, but the week she got knocked off, it was because she was busy doing other things. I think she was filming like Cheetah Girls movie or something like that, and that's why her dance didn't score as well. But she was one of the best dancers. But in any case, when Bobby won, people were upset, and it's really because and again, look, this is just me regurgitating what I saw on social media, and I'm going to give my thoughts, so don't think I'm attacking Bobby, especially in a video that's really celebrating John Schneider's journey. So let's just get that straight now. A lot of people were mad because if you go back and look at all the final dances, people were like, Bobby didn't even dance. It was like a band and everything. It was like, and I'm like, well, he put on quite a show. And the show is called Dancing with the Stars. So technically speaking, I wasn't mad at the judges. Yeah, there have been times where I feel like the judges gave out scores, and this is like in any given season, not just the finale, but during the actual season. I feel like some judges are harsher than others. But you know what? The judges gave the scores on all the dances, but at the end of the day, it comes down to the vote. Like, the people were the ones who voted, and Bobby won. And like I said, I thought that Milo was going to win. He was personally my contender to win. Don't get me wrong, I was excited to see John Schneider, and I'm glad he made it far as he did. But I think in terms of who the winner would be, I thought it was going to be Milo. But really, people were literally saying, I think it was like when Zendaya lost, I think that's when I stopped watching regularly. It was just like, we could tell it was a kind of a popularity contest about who would win and stuff like that, as opposed to the actual best dancer. Because when I think of Dancing with the Stars, I don't really like to think of the whole popularity thing, because that one dancer this season, the girl who had like 15 or 22 million Instagram followers, I'm like, yeah, she's probably going to make it far, because you could tell people, hey, vote. But I feel like, in my mind, I would like the dancer that is either the best, or especially the one that's had the most self-improvement, from week 1 to the finals, or whenever they get eliminated, who has made the most progress, but at the end of the day, fans get to vote. So sometimes they vote for their favorite dancer as opposed to the best one. That's really all I have to say about it. Like, I honestly don't care. It's not going to make me quit watching the show. I only tune in during a given season if there's a particular star I'm familiar with and I want to just see how they do. So people in an uproar, it really doesn't matter. I don't really see the big deal. Like, don't get me wrong, the Mirrorball trophy looks very good. And my thing about John Schneider was, the fact that one of my earliest videos about Dancing with the Stars this season, he was talking about how most people would think he's at a disadvantage being like the oldest guy there, but he does P90X and other exercises regularly, and he keeps up, his energy, and just based off his behind the scenes videos. And that's one thing about John Schneider, because he kept saying, I got to be careful because they say I can't film back here and whatnot, and I don't want to get in trouble. I'm like, I wanted to just reach through the screen and say, John, don't you mess this up, man. You're doing good. Don't post something that gets you kicked off the show, man. So it was just great to see his energy and the just the connections he's made with the cast, and just a good time. It was just a good time. And like I said, the Charleston was my favorite dance. Like, this video, I had some notes here, going over the basics about the scores and the dances, but really this was just a fun video talking about what I loved most about seeing John on Dancing with the Stars. And with that being said, guys, let me know your favorite moment of season 27. Who is your favorite dancer? Who is your what was your favorite dance that John did? And aside from that, John Schneider, if you're listening, I wish you the best of luck on all your future projects. And once again, definitely an inspiration to see all the hardships you were going through in your personal life, not to mention all the other engagements you had during this season of Dancing with the Stars, where you were traveling around, but at the same time promoting your music, your acting, everything you're doing, what you're working on, all at the same time, practicing those moves so you'll be ready for Tuesday night or Monday night. Was it Monday night? I think it was Monday. So with that being said, best of luck in all your future projects. Everybody that's tuned in, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And with that being said, you know the drill. Subscribe to the channel. We're trying to hit 100,000 subscribers, and I'll talk to you soon. Congratulations on making it to the end of this video. If you like what you saw, be sure to hit that thumbs up button, as well as leaving your thoughts in the comment section below so we can keep the conversation going. On the left hand side of the screen, you should see a picture of Jeffrey Harrington. You can click on him in order to subscribe, but also hit the bell notification icon. That way you don't miss out on any new content. Also, you should see some videos appearing on the screen as well that I'm pretty sure you'll enjoy if you enjoyed the one you just saw. But also, be sure to follow me on social media such as Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Links to all my social media will be in the description below. And in order to help this channel hit 100,000 subscribers, I'm going to need your help. So make sure to share this video as well as the channel around with all of your friends on your own social media. But once again, thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll catch you all in the next video.